And hello, horror fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and movie review for the brand new Ray Fiennes film, 28 Years, The Bone Temple. Now, 28 years later, came out last year, which was a sequel to 28 Days Later, which was a long-awaited sequel. That's back when the world pretty much found out who Cillian Murphy was as an actor. So. And then we got the sequel to that, which I thought was amazing. I enjoyed that movie a lot. A lot of fun in that movie. Zombie apocalypse kind of a film in Europe. You have this kid named Spike. He's hanging out with his dad. They go into the mainlands and, they're just trying to hunt for food and all that stuff. And, of course, he finds out that there's a doctor out there, or he hears rumors that there's a doctor in the mainland, and Spike takes his mother out there to try to get her some help. Of course, unfortunately, it doesn't really work. His mother dies at the end of the last movie. I'm talking about the last movie, not the new movie. And at the end of that movie, Spike meets a group of people who are in a cult led by a man named Sir Jimmy, who believes that he is the son of the devil. But then, as the movie progresses, and he meets them, and that's basically how the movie ends. But before that happens, before the new movie, the ending of the last one, which is 28 years later, we find out that the Sir Jimmy, who we find out his name in the new one, he's the kid who survived the beginning of the movie when all the zombies first start attacking people. And then he was in the church. He had his father's cross, and then for some weird reason now he grew up and he started believing that he was, he's the son of the devil. So, and he became a cult leader, and he's played by Jack O'Connelly, probably which I apologize. And this movie's directed by Nia DaCosta. She's great. I like her a lot. She's a good director, and she directed The Marvels. So she has a handle of kind of like these kinds of movies. And the last movie was directed by David Boyle. So it's like, okay, a new director. Are they gonna keep the same kind of like color palette to the original director? And the answer is yes. And I kind of thought she did a really good job blending her style with his style, and it really matched really, really well. And then this movie tells the story of just Jimmy and his team, or his friends, or his his followers, as they call it. They all call Jimmys. He has a whole bunch of people following him and worshiping him, and the devil as well. They all thinking that oh yeah, they believe he's the son of the devil, and the second coming is coming and all that stuff. And then Spike gets involved with them because at the end of the first one, the end of the second film, because the second is the third film, he bumps into them. They're like, oh yeah, you want to join us? You could be a part of our family if you kill one of our members now, and then so if you survive, you're in. You die? Oh well, we'll just clap and applaud that. So obviously he survives. No spoiler there because he's in the movie. Not much of a spoiler because he's also in the trailers. But yeah. Anyway, so and then in this movie we just see Ray Fiennes just doing his own thing like he always does. He takes the bodies of the dead, washes them to the point where they're just bone, and then hangs them up in his monument. And then you have this big alpha zombie and he calls it Simon. And him and Simon, they have this kind of odd bond, which is kind of cool. And normally when you see a zombie movie, it's like, okay, you got a zombie and then you have a person. Normally the zombie would attack that person, but in this movie you kind of get a sense of like, okay, why is he not attacking him? There is an answer to it, but I won't say what it is, because it's like, so something is happening with the zombie. And they also get this kind of sense like, is the zombie turning back to being normal? So that's kind of interesting. But you got to find out for yourself to watch it. Then, of course, we get to see Simon meet Ray Fiennes' character. And the two of them kind of form a bond a little bit. And he asks him for a favor to try to help him with a situation that he's having. I won't say what it is because it's also kind of considered a spoiler. But I thought that part was actually kind of cool. So yeah, I really thought this movie was great. I really liked this movie, especially the fact that like when you get a director directing a sequel of a movie and then that sequel gets another sequel, and then it kind of drifts apart from like the tone and the atmosphere of what that last one was, especially if it's a sequel to a sequel. So, you know, normally when the second movie comes out, normally that movie is better than the original. But then when they do a third one, it's like, it was okay, it wasn't great. You know, like we have like Alien 3, you know, even The Godfather 3, even though that movie's great, but it's not as comparable to Godfather 2, like that. But this one, I have to admit, was just as good as the last one. And I think the Costa did a really good job of keeping the, you know, blending her style of directing, mixing with Danny Boyle's directing style as well, and blended it really well. Because normally when you have two different directors, they don't mash up sometimes, and it kind of throws out the movie in a weird direction. It's like, they tried, you know, but it blended in really well. Ralph Fiennes was fantastic in this. He's the best actor right now in Hollywood without an Oscar in his mantle, so he was great. Jack O'Connell, fantastic job as well. And when those two start talking on screen together, I was like, I want more of that. So I thought that worked really, really well. The Simon character was great. I wanted to get more from his side of it. Technically, this movie had like 3 different arcs, and all 3 arcs really blended really well with each other, and it worked. So I enjoyed it. So fantastic job on everybody's part on this movie. I had fun with it. It was a great successor to the last one, and I thought the ending was like, wow. I didn't think they would pull that ending off like that, or give us something like that at all for an ending. It's not an after credit, it's just like the end of the movie. I'm like, man, I kind of want more. So we shall see. But yeah, there you go. There's my thoughts on 28 Years, The Bone Temple. I thought it was fantastic. Ralph Fiennes was great. Jack O'Connell was great. The whole Jimmy stuff was just like kind of out there, but cool at the same time. It's a fun little movie. Although my real negatives about this movie was the fact that Spike was kind of diminished a little bit in here, which is fine, but still kind of wish, you know, they made him such a big deal in the last one, but then they kind of just like put him as a forgotten character in here. You know, he had some moments in here, sure, don't get me wrong, it's just like, and obviously this is kind of, how to explain this? This is kind of like a sequel slash spin-off movie, you know what I mean? Because technically it is a sequel, because it literally picks off right where the ending of the last one stops at, and then it just goes into the Ralph Fiennes character a lot more, which is him and his bone temple that he has. Then you meet Jack O'Connor's characters, you know, Sir Jimmy, and then, you know, you go from there. So it's kind of a spin-off slash sequel to it, and I thought it really worked. So, and I enjoyed it very, very much. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Are you guys looking forward to seeing 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple? Not looking forward to it. Didn't see the last one. Didn't even see the original one. Whatever it is, leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and have a good night.